Hi, I'm Coach Jay-Z. With one tap, the Playmaker X animation engine is going to give you what you need for most plays. But if you're like me and like to get super detailed with your animations, this video is for you. I'm going to teach you a few things, including how to show pre-snap motion, how to fine-tune your route timing, how to stick the football to a ball carrier, and then finally I'll go through some play studies for some other scenarios like reverses, RPOs, deep passes, and more. If you'd like to follow along in the app, every sample diagram I'm going to show you in this video is available as a free play pack that you can import directly into Playmaker X. You can get the import code at the link shown here. Let's get started. Showing pre-snap motion is straightforward. Just tap a position icon and then tap here to set the first route segment to the motion line style. Tap the animation icon and then Playmaker X will automatically show that player's pre-snap movement before the rest of the play starts. On plays with crossing routes in a static playbook, you'd have to explain to your players who goes first. Here's an example from my playbook where I always want the receiver to go first in order to clog up the middle so the center can slide open underneath. In Playmaker X, I just need to open the animation settings to change the receiver speed from medium to fast and the center to slow. Now my players can see for themselves exactly who goes first. Start by getting your base diagram in place. You shouldn't have to fine-tune player timing on a simple handoff like this where the players travel about the same distance to the mesh point. Here's a tip that will make sticking the ball to the player much easier. If your route lines are rounded like mine, turn off the rounding temporarily until you get the ball path set up. Now open the annotations panel and drag the animated ball icon onto the field. On this play, I'm going to start with the ball already on my quarterback. Showing the snap here adds no value and skipping it will simplify the timing. Anytime I tap to set another path waypoint, I'm going to maintain the original quarterback to ball offset. Notice how it's a little bit to the side and down? Well, I'm going to maintain that for every point that I set. Tap to set the mesh point and then match the rest of the ball path to the new player with the ball. That looks pretty good. So let's turn on route smoothing and see how it looks. Okay, I don't like that. Now the ball loses that nice offset and it starts to float over the top of the ball carrier. A little football float's okay, but I want to see the position label, and I want the ball to stick roughly where it was on the ball carrier at the time of handoff. Route smoothing changes our effective mesh point, and that has a cascading effect on the other waypoints we put down. We need to keep smoothing on to match the player paths, so how do we get a sharp transition for the handoff right in the middle of the curved path? Let's pause for a second so I can show you a hidden feature in Playmaker X that lets you combine route smoothing with sharp junctions. This works best when you turn on Snap to Grid. All you need to do is drop two waypoints at the end of any segment, and that route junction will always remain straight. Just tap to set the first waypoint, and then tap and drag back over that same waypoint. Release, and then finish the route. When I turn route smoothing on, you'll see that while the rest of the route is rounded, my double waypoint trick keeps this junction squared off. Let's go back to our play and turn route smoothing off. I'm going to clear the ball path back to the mesh point. Remember, to get this junction to stay sharp, I just need to tap, drag, and then release to place a new waypoint right on top of the existing one. I'll finish up the ball path to follow the player with the ball. Watch the animation once to check my work. Then turn route smoothing on before a final playthrough. Here are a few play studies that cover other scenarios. Let's start with a reverse. I have my base diagram set up already, so I'm going to watch the animation and make a mental note about both mesh points. Now I'll turn off smoothing and drop a ball on the QB. Just like the previous example, I'm going to have my ball path follow each ball carrier with a consistent offset This makes sure that the ball doesn't float away on us. I'll use the double waypoint technique I showed you previously to make sure the mesh point is sharp, and then repeat that process for the final handoff. Let's watch the animation through once to see if we want to make any adjustments. Turn on route smoothing and watch the animation again. I don't see anything I'd want to fine tune here, so let's move on. For read-based plays like this one, I like to create a base diagram and then duplicate it so I can animate all of the read choices showing movement by the defense. You'll notice that I've color-coded the key defenders to match my offensive players to help my QB visually link the read events to the specific defenders. Here's the run option. Since the defender stays on the edge, the quarterback will hand off. Notice that I put just a little forward movement to simulate the mesh, and I've used our double waypoint trick to get a sharp handoff while keeping the ball aligned with the running back's smooth path. Here's the same play with read defenders and ball movement adjusted to show the pass option. What do we do on plays where we need the QB to hold the ball to allow routes to develop, or if we want to simulate checking to a third or fourth option? First, show the snap to buy some time. You don't need it on every play, but it's helpful here. If you need more delay, tap and drag to drop multiple waypoints underneath the ball. When you play the animation back, the ball will wiggle a bit, which is a nice cue to your quarterback that although they're holding the ball, they're not standing still like a statue. Finally, you can buy a little extra time by changing the ball speed to slow. Here are a couple more play examples you might find helpful. I've created a free play pack with all of the animation examples I showed in this video, so that you can import them into Playmaker X and take a closer look for yourself. You can get the import code at the link shown here. Thanks for watching.